Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Alright, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I am here with Katrina.
Hello.
All right, and so for this episode, we're going to talk about the 1990 film Misery. Oh, yeah. It's a classic. Can you tell us who's in this one?
Yes. So, in this movie, we've got James Caan playing Paul Sheldon. You may also know him from The Godfather or the father on Elf.
Yep. He's not the godfather in that one. He's the father.
He is the father. And then we've got Kathy Bates, who is most well known not only for Misery, but her wonderful part in Titanic and The Office. And has also been in American Horror. What is it?
American
Horror Story.
Yeah, she was in a season of that. What part was she in Titanic?
I believe she was, she was one of the, snobby, rich women, and they, sat at dinner, and then she kind of had, his back, she was, because she wasn't really made for money. She had to work to get there. Okay. And so people didn't really respect her either. Yeah. On the boat. Okay. So she knew how it felt to come from the slums.
Okay. You're getting excited talking about it.
Yeah. We can do another podcast on Titanic.
It's pretty scary. Pretty scary, boring.
Whoa. That's going a little far. But it's got quite a thrilling ending.
Yes. Okay.
A very unexpected ending.
Couldn't predict that one.
Yeah. All right. So, now let's go into the director and writer.
All right.
So, the director of this movie is Rob Reiner. Mm-hmm. And the writer of the screenplay is William Goldman. But the writer of the novel, the true story, is Stephen King. Yes.
One of his more well-known films, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few more.
He's got a lot.
A few more out there. So.
All right. So this one is about a writer. He just finished his next book. He's driving home. Home? Is he going home?
Yeah.
Gets in a car accident and is almost dead, and then is saved by this woman who takes him to her home, and she's a nurse, and she tries to take care of him, but you find out she is his #1 fan, and she found out that he killed off the main character in his book series that she loved. And now she wants him to write another book bringing that character back. She's not happy with his last book.
Yeah. She's not happy with either of his last books.
Yeah. Because he also wrote another book that apparently had a lot of profanity, and she was not a fan of, and made him burn it. That was the one that he had just finished, too.
Yeah.
So that was pretty demoralizing.
Pretty hard for him.
She made him burn it in like a barbecue inside his room.
Yeah.
And then she was like freaked out by the fact that it was like burning and paper was flying and stuff.
She was very unaware of reality.
Yeah. Okay, so the whole movie, basically, there's a sheriff who's looking for him. Mm-hmm. There's his agent.
Yes.
Also looking for him. And then he's very injured, very much in pain, but he's trying to escape this crazy lady who is making him rewrite or write a new book. That's basically the whole story.
Basically the entirety. You're very good at giving synopsis.
Yeah. I try to give. I mean, people have seen this movie
full synopsis
without going too into detail, much into detail. So it's hard to do.
I know. Keep working at
it. So this one is liked by many people, especially in the horror community, and we've both seen this before. Mm-hmm. We just watched it. And what did you think? What did you like?
Ooh, man, this movie, the fact that they are able to do such a good movie mm-hmm. with such a little amount going on.
Yeah.
Is really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a huge positive, that they can just keep you engaged even though there's really only two main things going on.
Yeah.
He's in there in the bed most of the time.
Yeah.
And she's over here engaging with him, whether it be in a lunatic way or
just a really sweet, nice way.
Yeah. And then the sheriff looking for him.
Yeah.
Which isn't like exciting scenes necessarily.
No.
They're just very, all right, let's see what he finds this time. You know, like not super thrilling.
Yeah.
But it keeps you on the edge the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
and I like movies like that are very simple.
Yeah.
But you have to have good acting and good characters in order to make it good. So.
And Kathy Bates, she is a pretty good actress. Mm-hmm. She can really get someone's attention. And just switch her. She can switch so easily and quickly, you know, where she's like this sweet lady and then losing it, you know? So her acting was amazing. He did a great job. Mm-hmm. All the characters were very likable. Yeah. In the way that you're supposed to like them as a character.
Yeah.
One thing that I really enjoyed is the camera work.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought that they did a great job with using different angles and different zooming, and when he's driving, it's like the most basic scene, but it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in the car with him. Like somehow it just
felt like you were driving.
Yeah.
And this is a movie from 1990.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And just multiple times in the movie, I noticed different pans and different, movements of the camera that was like, that was a good move.
I think I noticed when she was talking and she was a little more serious and like ferocious, the camera would really zoom in on her face, and like it was like scary when she would get all crazy and it's like her whole face is taking up the screen.
Yeah.
But it would zoom. It wasn't like just there.
Well, and slowly, yeah. It wasn't like a quick zoom.
Yeah.
It would build up as her emotions were building up.
Right.
Which really helped gain that feeling in the movie. And it reminded me kind of like a Psycho. How they used the camera work in that movie.
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed that. Well, I noticed the score in this movie.
Yes.
And whoa, it really like got you.
Yeah.
You know, because you were like, oh my god, what is gonna happen? Based off the
very appropriate
music. Yeah. Definitely more appropriate than the previous movie that we just watched, Fear.
Yeah.
Where it made you scared at the right times.
Right.
And it built your anxiety. Yeah. So, I really liked that. I can't say enough good things about this. This is a pretty phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for me, all of what you said, each movie I try to find something, especially in horror movies, it's not very hard to find something that's funny. And so she's like a very religious lady, and she didn't like the profanity in his book that he had just written. And so you can tell when she gets upset, she tries so hard not to cuss. And so she'll say things like cock-a-doodle-doo or
Cock-a-doodle.
cock-a-doodle.
Oh, cock-a-doodle. And oh, poo.
Oh, poo. And she calls him Mr. Man when she's mad at him. So it's just funny the things that she comes up with to say. And I wonder if that was written or if because it seemed like it was so genuine, you know?
I feel like that's a Kathy Bates thing. I feel like she must have like known this is what the character is, and then she threw it in there and they were like, oh, that's a winner. Keep that.
Yeah, it really added to her character. It was like, she's like battling within herself, you know?
Yeah.
And then at the end, she does say some foul language.
Yeah. And I
second.
didn't notice it at first until we watched it again. And I'm like, whoa, she just said that. And I thought you were going to have the part where she brings Misery the pig in.
Oh, yeah.
And then she turns around and oinks at him.
That was so weird. Yeah, that was really funny too.
Yeah.
She was a character. Like, she made me laugh, and then there was some times where I was like, oh man, what is she going to do? And she was just so calm about smashing his foot.
Oh, yeah. She was just like, it's okay. This is what is good for you right now.
Yeah, I'm going to just break your foot in half.
Yeah. It's funny because, not funny, but like I would try to put myself in his position. Like, man, how would I feel right now? Like, even at the beginning when she's like, I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah,
like,
right away.
And it's like, he's gotta be feeling like, oh gosh, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
But then, like, okay, well, thank goodness I found someone that's my biggest fan because she's helping me, you know? And how lucky am I that my biggest fan happens to be a nurse and has all this stuff in her house.
Right. Yeah, she had an IV.
All this, hospital bed. Well, it wasn't quite the hospital bed that she wishes she had.
Yeah. All these supplies,
the
medication, wheelchair. She had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
She was just everything about her, the acting, the character itself. So I would give credit to the writing as well. Which, you know, I haven't read the book, so I don't know how she is in the book, how she is written, but yeah, so everything about that character was awesome. I like the simplicity of it, which you had talked about. It's cool. I really like movies like that where most of it takes place in one spot. Most of it is just a couple of characters, and I feel like you can bring real tension to that if you do it well. So those are some of my favorite movies. I like the final fight scene between the two.
Yeah.
Especially when he trips her and you can tell it's like a body double or
yeah.
she hits her head on the typewriter.
Classic.
It's definitely not her. So, I mean, that's just another silly part. Another thing that I liked was some of the lighting when the cameras are doing some zoom. It's like just darkness around her or darker, and she's lit up. So you can see her like so much. She's so much pronounced, whereas behind her it's kind of darker.
Yeah.
So it brought her out a lot. So I noticed that in a few of her rants that she would go off on, and then the score. I wanted to mention that too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't feel like a 30-year-old movie from 1990. It doesn't feel like it was made that long ago. It seems pretty it's held up, we'll say.
It has held up. I do think that it feels like an old movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like movies you used to be able to or watching older movies now, you can kind of see the acting is a little off. The music is corny. There's just some stuff that make it not as good. There's only some older movies that I'm like, okay, I can watch this now all the time. There's not a lot of them.
I like older movies because of the simplicity of older movies.
Sure, yeah.
So that's where I feel like it's more like an older movie. And because, well, then you have your funny things, like when she bangs into the typewriter and you can totally tell it's a different person. And there was a couple scenes where you could you could tell that it was a cut scene. Like, it was like, oh, whoops, they had to redo that one. So those are the things that I'm like, you can tell it's an older movie.
Okay.
But definitely a movie that holds up.
Yeah, I guess it feels like it could have been made today. Maybe not the like quality of the camera, like the way it looks and things like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like a movie like that could be made today.
Yeah.
And but it wouldn't be as good probably. But it felt modern to me. It didn't look very aged.
Interesting.
I think.
Okay.
So, but yeah, those are all my positives for that one. Do you have any negatives?
Okay, so I think that my primary negative, old age, like the having to cut scenes or whatever, those kind of things, I guess would be the negatives.
Okay.
It didn't ruin the movie for me or anything, and it was pretty much because I'm looking for being able to have a negative to say is why I'm why I would find that as a negative. Okay. So it wasn't like something that I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't take away from the movie for you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think that it was pretty convenient that the sheriff just happened to stumble upon this, like remember this line, and he must have seen it somewhere, and he found the article that he saw it in. All that, like him putting all the pieces together was pretty convenient. Like not very realistic, but
that was gonna be my negative too.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like it had to happen. You had to have, because he had to discover her there.
But she just kills him.
Well, yeah, I guess that is I guess it didn't help with anything.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for the story, really.
I think that the purpose of having him searching for her was to break the movie up. Yeah. To make it out of just the one room. Yeah. And he added some nice, not comedic necessarily, but like lighthearted.
Yeah. Him and his wife.
Yeah. But it was really sad to have him die. Yeah. But it was quite a scene.
Yeah.
I mean, blowing his whole chest out.
Yeah.
So, and it made Paul realize even more so how dangerous she was.
Yeah, that's true. And after that is when she really gave the ultimatum, or not an ultimatum, but made the decision that they both need to die.
Yeah. Yeah, so, otherwise how was it going to end? Yeah. Because she was ready to just keep him forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like even though you could see it as a negative, and like I'm saying, I'm really just fishing for negatives. Mm-hmm. So you could see it as a negative because it was pretty unrealistic of how he came about it.
Yeah.
I wanted him to find, well, I mean, they did find the car, but I liked that he saw that the car was picked into, you know, like,
open.
Yeah. That he was like, no, this is...
Yeah, he's not
He
dead.
didn't get out of this.
Yeah.
So I liked it all up until the way that he ended up finding out.
Yeah, that was my negative. Mm-hmm. That it was just really convenient and unrealistic for him to just jump to these conclusions and be right. You know?
Yeah.
So I was looking for a negative too. Nothing stood out to me until I was like trying to find something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my only negative. I felt like the movie flowed pretty good too. Mm-hmm. You have anything else to say, or should we go into some grading?
Whew. Well,
get the grade book out.
I guess we got to get the grade book. And I need to keep up with the grades that I've given.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, or you're gonna start playing favorites, or having teacher pets.
Oh,
stuff.
I don't have favorites. No,
you have to be fair.
I'm a very
to everybody.
professional teacher, so don't worry.
Okay,
I will be fair. So I'm gonna have to give this movie 97.
Whoa! Wow! Man.
Well, because I have to keep up with the grading system that I'm doing.
You have really shot yourself in the foot.
I know. I did.
You can't go above 100%.
Well, I know.
You're getting close.
But I'm thinking of all the any other horror movie that we're gonna do. There is only one other one that I know I want to give an A to.
Okay.
I mean, unless we're going to watch some new ones coming out. But honestly, new movies just don't get me like the old ones.
Yeah.
I don't like new movies as much. They're too much, you know? They try too hard.
Yeah.
And so...
I agree there. There's few that come out that are able to capture what older movies can capture.
Yeah. So... really, I think that I'm still okay. I don't want to give anything 100% yet because...
So 97, I think that's an A+.
Yeah, I almost gave it 97.5 to make sure it was... it's not an A+, though. An A+, you have to be 99 or 100.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think it's 97 to 100.
Maybe that depends on the program that you're in.
Okay.
And in Miss Katrina's program, you gotta be really high to get an A+. Right. That plus is expensive.
All right.
So, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm going with an 88. Okay. I'm going B+.
Have you ever given an A?
No.
Okay.
I don't think... Well, no. I think I gave Saw an A.
You gave Saw a better grade than this?
The first Saw.
Oh,
I did.
Gosh.
Just because of the ending. It's just... It's just amazing.
Okay.
But I will admit, this is a much better movie than Saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, these are my grades.
These are your grades. These are your grades. So I'm sorry.
My class has a different syllabus.
Yeah, I know. Clearly.
Expectations. So yeah, 88. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
88?
Yeah.
Okay. B+.
Okay.
All right.
So
this has been our podcast on Misery. Make sure to go and find us on Facebook at Scare Talk Podcasts, on Twitter at Scare Talk Pod, And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Google, anywhere pretty much that you can listen to podcasts. I think we're on now. So yeah, go check us out. Give us a review. Give us a rating. Send us a comment, suggestion on movies.
Comment on what movies you want us to do. Because we're needing some movies as we're in quarantine longer and longer and longer. So help us out.
Yeah. And we're saving some for when Joel gets back on the show. So we don't want to do any of the, we're not going to do like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. We're not going to do those without him.
I've already been told there are certain movies that I wanted to do that no, I cannot do until Joel is here.
So, any of those single movies, I think, is what we'll stick to for now.
Yeah, give us some obscure things to do. That would be nice.
That would be fun. Okay, so this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Kathy Bates bite.